doing the things that no one else will do. So actually, in many ways, I feel like maybe I was disappointed.
Okay.
Feeling, and that's something that still stands for today, except that I don't feel disappointed in a negative way.
Sure.
Life is not usually as exciting as a book or a movie, of course. And so that's something like I've had to come to terms with, because a lot of people, family and friends, you know, they're like, I could never do what you're doing. That's so exciting. You're so adventurous. You're so brave. And I'm like, I'm just living. That's...
Oh no. What is balut?
It's where you cook an egg that has already been fertilized. So it's
like halfway chicken?
or duck.
Or okay, cool. There's there's a bird inside, but it's still inside the shell.
Yeah. It's like yolk and baby bird. I've tried snake, which is good.
How would you describe the texture of snake?
If it is cooked well, it's kind of similar to a little bit tougher eel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, especially if it's like prepared well. The first time I had it, I was like, this is like eating tire rubber. No flavor, chewy, not good. But then the second time I had it, and it was freshly killed too.
Okay.
It had been, I saw it in like the field. This is an interesting story. I saw it in the field and I was like, oh, there's like this big snake, not a good snake, not a friendly snake. And so then the people that I was living with, they went and like killed it right in front of me, and that was dinner. Yeah.
The first time you had it, was it also fresh?
No, it had been purchased.
So I'm wondering if maybe that affected like the texture.
Could be. Yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah. So.
Serena first visited Cambodia in 2019 as a volunteer teacher. That 1 month trip planted a seed, and a place she had never heard of before became the place that she wanted to call home. She lives here and it's been most of her adult life, and I really want to understand why. But first, I must ask, babes, how did you get here?
And I knew I wanted to get out somewhere, and especially go somewhere that was going to feel very unique, maybe somewhere that I didn't know anyone who had gone there before.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Why did you want to move so far out of your comfort zone? I get the traveling abroad,
Yeah.
but, you know, why not go somewhere more familiar?
Right, yeah. I'm going to be honest, bragging rights. It inspired a lot of my first decision to come here. I wanted to go somewhere that no one really knew about.
Sure.
I wanted to go and I wanted to learn the language because nobody knows the language. And I want to stay there because nobody usually stays that long. So at the beginning, like that inspired me. I wanted to do something that no one else was doing.
Love that.
So I guess it's working out.
So when you came for the month, where were you staying in Cambodia?
I was in Kampong Cham, which is a province. And I was in a village, so it was fairly rural.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing?
I was mostly working with kids. I was working at a children's home, and so we would just play games, hang out with them, and then do a little bit of like English teaching and whatnot. We also did some other things in the village, but I can't quite recall what.
Sure.
All.
Did you do a lot of research before your trip?
Probably not as much as I should have.
Well, I guess it's only a month in your mind at that point, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to necessarily go into the depths.
Right. And
I think
I was
I'm
going
just a
with an
planner.
organization, so
Okay.
I trusted that they knew what they were doing, and I'm sure I must have done some research. Probably looked it up on a map. Honestly, probably not much, but
So after that month, tell me what happens.
after that month, went to volunteer in Thailand for a little bit, but
With the same organization?
same organization.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a 3-month package
Okay.
trip. So they organized all the details, and I just went and did the volunteering with the team.
Sure.
But at that point, since I went to Thailand after, I was like, no, my heart is in Cambodia. I need to go back.
Can you explain to me your experiences just comparing Cambodia and Thailand as a volunteer?
Yeah, I think if I were to go back to something like that now, I would have a much more maybe fair perspective of the two. But I think just because I was so new to traveling and so young, I saw Cambodia as like the best.
Okay.
Because it was really like, it was the first place I'd been like by myself, really far away. And so I think Thailand just paled in comparison because I was holding Cambodia on this pedestal of like,
Sure.
I must go back there.
Do you think if you went to Thailand first, that could have changed?
I think logically, probably would have. Guess we'll never know. But the volunteering was also good in Thailand. Like,
Sure.
I had a good time, and it was beautiful from what I remember. So
Can you just, I know it was a long time ago, and everything in my mind is pre-COVID or post-COVID, right? Like it's all very murky
that's a good way to
otherwise.
put it.
But when you first arrive in Cambodia, in the rural province, can you kind of describe what you're seeing, hearing, smelling?
I remember at least the seeing and hearing.
Okay.
If I don't remember the smelling, that probably means it didn't smell bad. So, I remember we arrived at like golden hour. Oh, it was perfect. We had driven basically just from the airport straight there, and it takes a couple hours. So everything just looked gold when we arrived because the sun was about to set, and so the rice fields were starting to kind of die out at that point, but there was still rice in the fields.
Right.
And so there was like these long green grasses and then like golden light everywhere. And it did sound loud in the way that a countryside can sound loud. You know, you hear animals, you hear kids and families. And as you know, a couple days go on, you start to hear ceremonies at 4 a.m. in the morning and whatnot. So I do remember that like very, very clearly how it looked right at the beginning.
Sure. Yeah. How many people were with you on that trip? Okay, babes, real talk, tantrums do not look fun. But what if I told you that they don't have to take over your house? In my course, Managing Tantrums Like a CEO, I'll teach you the strategies that turn tantrums into opportunities. No yelling, no bribes, no screens, and no chaos. You will learn how to understand what's really going on behind those meltdowns, how to keep your cool when they lose theirs, and how to raise emotionally intelligent children without losing yourself in the process. Because CEOs don't react, babes, they respond, and you can do the same. So if you're ready to bring more calm, connection, and confidence to your home, click the link and check out Manage Tantrums Like a CEO.
There's like 10 of us, maybe.
Okay.
10 to 12.
Anyone else stay?
Nope.
Okay. So you got those bragging rights, babes.
Oh, absolutely.
So you go to Thailand for 2 months. You said it was a 3-month package.
Yes.
And then after that, you return home to Colorado?
Yep, went back and basically went back just to like tell my family that I wanted to come back to Cambodia.
Knew.
And
Okay.
I really knew. And of course, you know, my parents are like, well, hang on, like, why? What are you going to do there? How are you going to get money to like live there? Because I wanted to come and keep volunteering.
Okay.
Which obviously doesn't pay. So I had to do a little bit of strategizing, working, saving.
Okay.
But yeah, I knew I wanted to come back. So.
What was it about Cambodia that you knew you wanted to come back to?
I think I liked the idea of it. Okay. And now that I'm here, I actually like it.
Sure.
But I liked the idea of living a bit of a slower paced life, living in a rural area. I've always grown up in suburbs, and so I thought it would be cool and really interesting to, I don't know, do things in a rural way, you know, hand washing my clothes and riding a bike places. And that just sounded really appealing to me, maybe because, again, it was just part of like being different, doing something different. That's really what drawed me, was those things.
Are you an only child?
No, I have 3 siblings.
Okay. Where do you fall?
Second.
You're number 2. So when your parents then accept the idea that you're going to move, how long are you between that decision of telling them and arriving back?
I arrived back in the US after my trip. It was like April or something, 2019. And then I returned back to live here February of 2020. So
okay, so nearly a year.
Yeah. So it was a good amount of time to
And that time you were just saving?
Yeah.
Okay. And when you arrive here, what is the plan?
Just volunteering.
Oh, so you were saving enough so that you could volunteer?
Okay. Yeah, I was saving to volunteer, and then I had some very generous family and friends who were willing to help.
Sure.
But yeah, I just came back to volunteer at the same place that I had been at for like the first month that I was here. So.
And how long did you volunteer there?
About another year, a little bit less than a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so was there a part where the honeymoon, excited, new, fresh, living out the idea kind of wore off, and then there was a different change of energy?
I would say like the answer is twofold: right away and then never.
Okay.
I very quickly realized upon coming back, because I was coming back not with a team.
Right.
I started to realize, oh, I'm scared of everything and everyone. I wouldn't go anywhere. I was too
Really?
scared to talk to anyone. Like, I would talk to the kids, and
Sure.
that was it. I was too scared to talk to any adults. I wouldn't go and like buy stuff. I would ask the kids to go buy it for me, and I would just pay them. Just so embarrassing. So like as soon as I got here, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be really, really hard. But also, I still felt like I wanted to be here.
Right.
So and to this day, like I still feel really lucky and just blessed to be here, and I really like it, and still feel like I'm like my life keeps getting better here. So I knew it was going to be hard right away as soon as I came back, but also it hasn't let me down yet, and I still feel like the things that I loved about it at the beginning are still the things that I really like about it. So
Did you know that you were gonna experience that level of anxiety in terms of not being able to communicate? Was that something that
I
you
should
had?
have been able to anticipate it. I've been like that my whole life,
Okay.
but I don't know. There was something about like my last 2 years of high school, and then maybe like the 1 year right after high school. I just had this like this burst of like social strength. I was
Sure.
like, yes, like I'm going all out. I'm confident. Yeah.
Okay.
But the rest of my life has never been like that before or after. And so I think maybe I just assumed that that was like the new me, that I wasn't
Yes.
scared of anything anymore. But I should have maybe been able to think about the rest of my life.
No, but I think it's really good that you didn't, because maybe if you had overthought,
wouldn't have come,
then you
right?
exactly
Yeah.
you might not have taken the plunge. And I'm really interested from the perspective of so many people are fearful, not necessarily of moving abroad, but just fearful of things in general. And I just want to understand a little bit, how did you like psych yourself up to, because it's a big move, particularly for someone who experiences like social anxiety.
Yeah, I always tell people like moving over here was the only brave thing that I did. And then after that, everything was just riddled with social anxiety. So I don't even know. I think the competitiveness and wanting to like stick with what I had committed to really, I don't like letting people down.
Okay.
I don't like failing.
Right.
And so I think the perfectionism and the desire to impress people is what got me here.
here.
And then once I was here, you know,
Sure. I think that's really cool.
yeah, it's been a long journey. So, but now I'm brave enough to go and buy bottled water. As of like last year, I'm not even kidding. And
Really?
yeah, it's been a long time coming, but
What do you think helped change? As in, because the person that I'm seeing here, if I had known, that that was your level of social anxiety, I wouldn't expect you to be sitting in the chair.
I know, and I probably wouldn't have been doing this a year, 2, 3 years ago. So, I think probably some of it has just been age.
Okay.
I've done research about like the maturing of the brain.
Yeah.
And I think it's a common misconception that women's brains are fully mature by the time they're 18. That is not true. We do go through, here's some science. I feel like I'm getting nerdy. We
love
do
it.
go through another really big hormonal burst right around like 23.
Okay.
Which can contribute to more turbulent feelings and experiences.
Sure.
And then after that point is really when our
You
frontal
kinda
lobe
level
starts
out.
to develop. And
Okay.
actually, yeah, around my 24th birthday last year is when things just kind of started to feel like they clicked. And I realized like, oh, I think I am capable of more than I have felt I'm capable of in the past. Or, well, what happens if something embarrassing occurs? I guess
Sure.
it's not the end of the world. So I think that's some of it. And then I think also maybe just developing more community here, feeling like I have more support. I'm not quite as alone.
Do you think there's an aspect of being in a country that is so far away that also who cares if like people judge you? The reason I say this is like on a really superficial level. I will probably take up my phone at dinner more readily here and film dinner to post it online than I would in my home country. Because I'm like, who the fuck cares, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know you, you don't know me. I just feel like, and it's not to say that everyone at home knows you. There's just a freedom, I think, that I'm so clearly not Cambodian. It's cool if I do something that might be perceived as weird because I'm
Yeah.
not from here anyway.
Yeah. I definitely have been conscious of that before because there's a lot of, I mean, even like foreigners, they talk about it consciously here. They'll be like, well, we're foreign, so, you know, no one's going to give us flack for doing this wrong or that wrong or seeming awkward or,
Sure.
like, oh, we don't know what's going on because, well, we're foreign. So that's not always a good thing. But yeah, I think knowing that people are going to look at me anyways. It doesn't matter how comfortable I am here. It doesn't matter how long I've been here. It doesn't matter if I dress like them, act like them, talk like them. They'll still look at me. So I might as well get over it or own it, even better.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
How else has living here changed you?
It's so hard to understand how living here has changed me versus just how being an adult has changed me.
Yeah.
Because I've been here since I was like 18, pretty much. And so I don't know. I always wonder what kind of person would I have been if I had just been in the U.S. and had come to this point in my adulthood in the U.S.
How are you different from your peers? Maybe that's a better way of looking at it. Like people who maybe you grew up with and they're still in America. Obviously, I appreciate it's not an identical like line.
Sure. Yeah. I think I'm way more flexible and open-minded.
Okay.
I try to be. And I think I've just had such a wealth of experiences as far as the people I've met, the opportunities that I've had, the things that I've seen. And I think even just living outside of your home country, even if you're still hanging out with other expats, or even if you don't maybe fully adapt to the new culture, just leaving your home country is giving you like another layer of experience.
Yep.
And I think it's forced me to be willing to adapt to things, be willing to be flexible, and be willing to like learn new things and understand new people, maybe who I wouldn't have been so open to hearing from before.
Talk to me a little bit about life in rural Cambodia. What does that look like, other than washing your clothes?
Yeah, well, that's a lot of it. It takes a long time to hand wash clothes. And I feel like I never got the hang of it because I was so scared at first. I didn't feel like I could ask anyone how to wash clothes.
Okay.
I was like, I should know how to do this.
Right.
It should be self-explanatory. And I just feel like I never really...
You
they never really felt
rhythm.
clean when I washed them. I don't know. So that's a really big part of living in rural Cambodia. But yeah, a lot of rural Cambodia is very agricultural. So I also have lived in another province that I went to after my volunteering stint. And I got to do a lot of like farm work.
Okay.
Which was kind of cool. And
what are we talking about? Are we talking about like
picking cashews?
Okay.
Well, harvesting cashews.
Yep.
Harvesting and planting cassava. Taking care of cows.
Okay.
Taking care of just like general cutting grass and weeds and learning how to make rice and some foods. Yeah, so that's what a lot of like my time went towards in rural Cambodia, was just trying to figure out what they all did every day and then also trying to do that, which I think was great, like tiring, but super fun, really cool experiences. And it definitely made me feel like, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm getting dirty. Like, yeah, I'm a rural Cambodian now. So really cool experience. And I go back to the province fairly regularly, a couple times a year, to visit some friends there. And it's always so fun just to go back and contribute to like their life, their family life, the way that they're living all the time.
Were you living with a family in rural? Okay.
Yeah, I've always lived in like family settings. Yeah.
Can you tell me how family dynamics are different compared to a Western perspective?
Ooh. I think it really is based on being rural versus in the city.
Okay.
Now that I'm working as a teacher and I'm interacting with families and kids, a lot of people in the city I would equate to being much more similar to how I would see Western families living and functioning. In the provinces, I do feel like there's, I don't know if strict is the right word, because it's very chill.
Right.
But there's definitely, you know, the I'm gonna hit you with my shoe feel. I also think though that families are much closer here.
Okay. In general, or province versus city?
In general.
Okay.
I think there's an obligation to be close to your family or to take care of your family that I don't see in many Western cultures. So that's very obvious. Like you can see that people really care about their families. And I remember when I was volunteering, I was asking a student about I don't know, someone important to them or something they love. And all the students were like, what do you mean? It's our parents. Like,
Right.
and these are middle schoolers. So I was shocked. I was like, your parents are the ones that you like would do anything for? Like, it seems surprising to me.
Sure.
But yeah, it's a very, very like family loyalty is
Very
very
big.
evident in the provinces and in the city, but very, very much in the provinces.
Sure.
So, and I think it's some obligation.
Do you think that seeing those cultural differences here, particularly for family, has that influenced your relationships with your family at all?
I'm already very close to my family.
Okay.
Which sometimes has felt like different in the US to be
So
like
close.
really close
Yeah.
with my family and parents, grandparents, siblings, like everyone. So I think for me, no, it didn't really
aligned.
change anything, but it
Yeah.
definitely made me maybe more aware of
Sure.
family dynamics in general.
How do you manage being so far away from your family when you're so close to them?
I think we keep in touch all right.
Okay.
I talk with my mom fairly regularly, and I go back to visit usually around once a year.
Okay.
But also I think I think we grew up really close, but I also think like I've moved out well. My brother has also moved like away from our home state.
Okay.
So I think we weren't strangers to maybe being far apart.
Sure.
To the idea of it. But we do keep in touch. But yeah, we definitely grew up very close, and now we're not parting ways, of course, but we're
But
okay with the
it's a
distance. Like it
comfortable-
has now
yeah.
become comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. In terms of the time that you left, because that time of going to college in America is a very big deal.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I went to college in the States, and so
Where did you go?
as in which university?
Yeah.
I went to Columbia in New York.
Very cool.
And I remember like the culture of university and like that college energy, and it really defining and consuming someone's entire like personality.
Yes.
Even I always joke and say America is one of the few places that even when you're 60, they'll be asking you, where did you go to college? I'm like, nobody, like no one
Yes.
else in the world cares, but for America,
Really?
yeah, no one cares. Like, why?
Wow, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, like why are adults asking where did you go to college? Like, to me, it's so long ago and so irrelevant that like nobody cares. And it's
Yeah.
funny because even at my restaurant, I remember like seeing people make reservations. And this one guy, he made a reservation at columbia.edu with his email. And so I expected a college student. Because you're using your Columbia email.
Yeah.
And when he came, he was like 50. And I was like, boss man, why are you still using this email address? And he goes, don't you use yours? I said, I didn't even know it was active. He said, yeah, you have it for life. I was like, really?
Why would you still be using it?
Because he was saying that in the context of corporate America, his Columbia.edu still had weight.
yeah,
like,
if,
to
I,
show
if
people.
I went to Columbia, I would still be using it too.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never logged in.
Oh. You're making it without Columbia. Do it
But
on your own.
so my question to you is, coming from that environment where I understand that clearly like college and those steps are so important culturally, how was it for you to be going on a different path?
I think it was kind of exciting because I wanted to try and like succeed without college. I also didn't know what I wanted to do. So knowing that I probably was going to have to get scholarships, and I wasn't going to be able to just pay for it out of pocket,
Sure.
didn't want to take loans. Like I was trying to avoid having debt. I just thought it would probably be better if I waited. And that was always my plan, was to take a gap year.
Me
Like,
too.
yeah, my volunteer trip was a gap year. And then it was another gap year. And now it's been many, many gap years. And
Where
I've
did you
done-
get the idea for a gap year? Because I was talking to another guy from America, and he found out about gap years like in his 20s. He didn't know about them, and he was so excited. He goes, in America, they don't talk about gap years. And then from the time he understood the concept, he was like, yes, that's what I need in my life. So how did you learn?
I don't know. I guess I must have known people that
Took a gap year.
years. Yeah.
And when you decided that you wanted to take one, was it specifically to volunteer for that year in Asia?
More or less. Like at the end of my senior year of high school, I was pretty sure that I was wanting to take a gap year
Okay.
and do some kind of volunteering. I just wasn't sure what. So then, yeah, by the time it all came about,
Yes.
it made sense.
Okay. And from your gap year, you wanted, I appreciate the exposure and also just to give yourself some time to figure out what the next move was.
Yep, that's
Okay.
what I was hoping for. So
Cool.
I've done some college now. it should be on the books, but still haven't finished.
That's okay, babe. I'm not American. I don't care.
Yeah, that's good. Less pressure right now.
Your friends of that time,
Yes.
of high school, sorry. How are they still your friends now?
A few of them.
Yeah?
Yeah. I left high school with a really big friend group, and then it has dwindled down, and I would say that I have a couple people that I'm consistently in touch with,
Sure.
and then a few more that I like to see if I go back.
Yes.
Which is fine. Those were the ones I was closest to anyway.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in loads of friends.
yeah.
Not everybody should have the privilege to come at 2:00 in the morning if there's a problem. I can't be a good friend to too many people.
Right. Yeah.
And also, people aren't that good, so.
I think it definitely, like, has been whittled down to the people that care
Your
about me
core,
and I care
yeah.
about them. So, no need for
How do they
necessary.
think about, obviously, there's a difference between, hi, guys, I'm just going volunteering for a year,
Mm-hmm.
to, guys, I'm actually not coming back.
I think everyone has been supportive.
Okay.
If not, please let me know. I've never gotten the impression that anyone has thought I'm making a bad choice. I've known a lot of people who have ended up moving for volunteering or
Okay.
humanitarian work. And I think the community of people I grew up with also was very used to that. So
That
I don't
vibe.
think it was a foreign idea.
Okay.
Just because of the people I specifically grew up with.
Cool.
So
And when you stopped volunteering,
Mm-hmm.
how did you come to make that decision?
it was time.
Yeah.
It was time. Yeah, I just knew that I didn't want to spend too much time at that particular place anymore. I didn't really feel like I was making progress.
Okay.
And I didn't really think that the role I was fulfilling needed to be fulfilled by me.
Okay. When you say you didn't feel like you were making progress, what does progress look like to you?
Well, I know now, looking back, that I wasn't really making any, like, mental or emotional progress. Like, I wasn't being challenged. I wasn't really connecting with anyone.
Sure.
But also, I think just, like, in the role itself, like, it just felt like a dead end. Like, I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing here.
Sure.
Don't really have much direction. I'm not feeling very inspired.
Right.
So, yeah, I kind of just knew it was time to...
But you knew
Wrap
that you
up.
still wanted to stay in Cambodia.
Yes.
You didn't think, is it time for me to go elsewhere?
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
I still wanted to stay, and yeah, I knew that there were many other places I wanted to see in Cambodia, and eventually, like, I knew I wanted to maybe try to live in the city and
Okay.
get a job. At that point, I was kind of like, "Whew, this volunteering has been good for my heart, but not good for my bank account." So I wanted to get back into work. So
Okay.
was
Did you
time.
feel a bit like through the volunteering in the rural areas of Cambodia that you were living a life that could be perceived as unrealistic
by whose standards?
by your own?
I don't think I ever thought that. No, I think I've probably always had unrealistic expectations for my
Right.
life, especially in terms of how adventurous and exciting it's going to be.
Yes.
I'm a big reader, and so I grew up with fiction.
Yes.
And I always have imagined that my life will be very, like,
Wow.
unexpected. Yeah,
Sure.
wild. Like, doing the things that no one else will do. So, actually, in many ways, I feel like maybe I was disappointed.
Okay.
And that's something that still stands for today, except that I don't feel disappointed in a negative way.
Sure.
But life is not usually as exciting as a book or a movie, of course. And so that's something, like, I've had to come to terms with, because a lot of people, family and friends, you know, they're like, I could never do what you're doing. That's so exciting. You're so adventurous. You're so brave. And I'm like, I'm just living, washing my clothes. Like, nothing exciting happens to me. That's how it feels.
Sure.
So it's kind of, in some ways, been less exciting or less unrealistic than I would have thought
Sure.
it could have been. But I think I'm at a good place with it now.
Did you have
Realism.
any experiences when you were volunteering that
At
were
all? Just
that
any
were just like
experiences?
that were like, wow, this is my life? Because I appreciate what you're saying about the books and the movies, right? They're condensed versions, and so I'm just wondering if in that period, because you were there for a good enough time, where you were like, oh my gosh, I would not believe these particular circumstances unless I was physically experiencing them.
I remember feeling that way the first few times that I rode on a moto.
Okay.
I was like, I'm free. I don't know, maybe just like small things. Like I really had to be like keyed in because I mean it's rural life, like it's countryside. It's not going to be insanely wild and adventurous.
Yes.
So I was trying to be keyed in to like little things that felt exciting and felt like they were fulfilling my desire for something different. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes even just like hearing like the ceremonies in the morning, it was a very like kind of surreal thing to wake up to and be like, ooh, there's like this cool music and chanting and I don't know, maybe like some of the foods I tried or like seeing a snake in the wild. Wow, oh my God.
Tell me
Little
about
things.
the food. I'm all about the food, baby. Tell me
Yeah.
about the things that you...
When I was volunteering, I actually did not eat much Cambodian food. Like
Okay.
I ate a lot of pork and rice, which was made by Cambodians, so I guess it could be considered Cambodian food. But it's not like the traditional or like
Okay.
the real food that people are usually eating every day.
What is the real food?
Yeah, they do a lot of soups.
Okay.
Now I eat Cambodian food, real Cambodian food every day for most of my meals.
Yep.
So yeah, they have a lot of soups. They use like banana stalks,
Okay.
banana flowers. They use tamarind in a lot of things for the sour.
Do you eat all meat and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've tried a lot of things. Yep, I've tried snake, which is good. Spider.
Have you tried alligator? As
I
in not
haven't.
here, but...
I haven't. No.
So
I
in
need
Florida,
to go.
I had
was gonna say,
alligator.
I should go
and
to
so
Florida.
I'm trying to figure out if it's similar. That's the only reason why I ask. You haven't
don't
had
know.
alligator, okay?
Yeah, I haven't had it. Can't
What
compare.
how would you describe the texture of snake?
If it is cooked well, it's kind of similar to a little bit tougher eel.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, especially if it's like prepared well. The first
Right.
time I had it, I was like, this is like eating tire rubber. No flavor, chewy, not good. But then the second time I had it, and
Okay.
it was freshly killed too.
Okay.
It had been, I saw it in like the field. This is an interesting story. I saw it in the field and I was like, oh, there's like this big snake, not
Right.
a good snake, not a friendly snake. And so then the people that I was living with, they went and like killed it right
and
in
that was
front of me.
dinner.
And that was dinner. Yeah.
The first
So
time you had it,
interesting.
was it also fresh?
No, it had been purchased.
So I'm wondering if
from
maybe
someone.
that affected like the texture.
Could be. Yeah.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah. So, but it's good. I would eat snake again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other proteins or veg or anything that was interesting?
I had balut. Do you know what that is?
No, what's balut?
That's
Oh no. What is balut?
it's where you cook an egg that has already been fertilized. So it's
like halfway chicken?
Yeah. Or duck.
Or okay, cool.
Yeah.
There's a bird inside, but it's still inside the shell.
Yeah. It's like yolk and baby bird.
Okay.
It's yeah.
How does one consume it? So you crack it open? Please excuse my ignorance.
No, it's okay. I had it once and I have not been able to have it again.
So you crack it open as you would do an egg?
So the way that they like to eat it here is you kind of like you crack open like the top,
Okay.
peel off so that it's like a small circle on the top.
Right.
And then they like to make a sauce that has like I think it's like lime, pepper, and salt basically.
Okay.
So it's peppery and
Is it
sour.
that sauce that they serve with a lot of
A lot of
fruit?
meat. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so it's a good sauce. And then
Yep.
you kind of just like pour it in and then like
Slurp it. That is
Yeah.
deep.
yeah. The taste was okay, but it's
Hold on. I have questions
psychologically-
regarding texture and like feather content. Is
it
there
doesn't really have
it hasn't got that
feathers.
far. Okay, so it hasn't got that far to have feathers,
Yeah.
but it has body parts.
Yeah.
And it's a one go shot flex?
Not always.
You chewing?
Yeah. I haven't been able to have it again.
You are good.
I tried it because there was peer pressure at the time. A group of people being like, just try it.
Right.
So I did. And I was
Yeah.
like, And then after that, I was like,
I'm
What
done.
did I just do? It gets to you. Like seeing it, you know, you're like,
It's
this
funny
is
though,
so
like
weird.
I was having this conversation. Why are we okay with eating certain things, right? Because
Yeah.
it is a mind thing. Like, why are we okay with eating the egg as the egg version when we know that it was gonna become the chicken, right? Like it's all in our minds.
Yeah.
Is this? You said it's balut?
Yeah, I believe
Is
that's
it a-
actually like the Filipino word for it.
Okay.
It's big in the Philippines from
Is it a delicacy here? Or is it a flex that you're like a snack time? How?
It's fairly common. It's
Really?
oftentimes if you go to places like Riverside,
Okay.
where they have a lot of food carts,
Yes.
if you see eggs, or even here on the side of the road, if you see people selling what looks like cooked eggs,
It's
a lot of the
probably-
times it'll be that.
Okay, because I've seen cooked eggs. But I didn't-
Sometimes it's just cooked eggs, but sometimes
it's a little extra.
yeah. But they know, like they wouldn't accidentally give it to you.
Right.
They know they know what's what. So
Were you adventurous with food before you came here?
yes, yeah, I've
Really?
always been a
Okay.
big food person. I've always said that I'll try anything at
Yes.
least once. So yeah, I like all kinds of different foods.
For somebody who is visiting, not living, just visiting,
Mm-hmm.
what are the main things that we need to be eating?
You should try amok.
Okay.
That's the national dish.
Yes.
And it's made with like coconut cream
Yes.
curry sort of thing.
Do you prefer
Really good.
chicken or do you prefer fish?
Fish?
Okay.
Yeah. I would also say, I mean, sure, I try the fried rice or the pork and rice or the chicken and rice.
I haven't.
'cause
I don't
that's-
eat rice. So I know, babe, I'm struggling out in these streets.
What do you eat then? What else is there to eat here? Well,
It's
maybe
so
I should have
funny.
specified eat rice.
Yeah, but is it worth trying the fried rice? Like if when I said I don't eat rice, if you made me rice at home, I would eat it, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure,
Like
sure.
it's not like, oh, I'm not gonna touch the rice.
Yeah.
But I will never cook the rice. I will never order the rice.
Yeah.
So I'm just checking. Do I need to order? Is Cambodian fried rice unique that I need to try it?
No.
Okay, cool. Just
No,
checking.
it tends to be a more popular dish for visitors.
Okay.
Fried rice, chicken and rice, pork and
Yes.
rice. But if you don't like that, there's a lot of really good soups. Especially I like sour, so there's a lot of like sour soups that
Yes.
have either like lime or tamarind.
Okay.
And then vegetables and either fish or chicken.
Sure.
That's really good. There's another dish. I'm trying to think of what it would be called in English.
Tell me in the Khmer, babes.
Chak Rao.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically called like lemongrass stir fry.
Oh, I love lemongrass.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's actually, I just learned recently, it's a drinking food. So they have certain foods that are, I don't know why. Maybe it's that like there's more bones, so it takes longer to eat. So it's good to eat while you're drinking. But there's
Okay.
certain foods that like you eat while you drink.
And when we say drink, as in
Beer,
drink,
beer.
Okay. So they're known to be paired with a beer.
Yes,
And this dish is known to be paired with a beer.
Yes.
Do you like beer?
I'm okay with it. I'm
I
not
don't
like
it.
super into it.
I went to Belgium because they have like 300 kinds of beers. That's not why I went, but I went there and I was like, oh, I must be able to find a beer. And there's like a lot of fruity ones that
Hmm.
people were like, oh, you probably like that. No.
Yeah, a part of becoming a little bit of an older adult now that I'm not like 21 anymore is realizing that I actually would prefer juice.
Yeah.
Give me a juice box or chocolate
I'm
milk.
with you. I'm with you. If you ever see me with like a red stripe, know that I'm just being patriotic.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing other reason or motive for me to hold this other than to let people know that I'm promoting Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because I'm not here for it.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
really interesting that you say this because I do think that a lot of people drink for the social aspect or just because that's like what's done or because they, even from a social anxiety perspective, it helps them
Yeah.
kind of gear up to
Yeah.
be better in social spaces. I don't think most people drink because they actually think it tastes good. Whereas I drink.
I don't know who would, yeah.
No, but if I have a drink, it is because it tastes good. So like I had a caipirinha here and it's like $2.50. So my expectations were don't have any because I was in the middle of, not in the city, I was, out. It's $2.50. I was surprised that they knew what a caipirinha was. Not because of Cambodia, just in general. Most
Yeah,
people
yeah.
outside of Brazil are like knocking back caipirinhas. And it was so good. Like it was so good. I was like, $2.50? Can we get another? But I have kids, so no. And it became like a daily like thing. I was really impressed about like being able to make drinks here in a way that I haven't experienced in other places. Just the knowledge.
In general, there is so much foreign food and drink here, especially in Phnom Penh, but
Yes.
also in the other big areas.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, good food, like
Yeah.
good Indian food. Really good Indian food here.
A lot of
Pretty
French influence.
Yeah,
I see a lot
French,
of
a lot of
bakeries.
Turkish food,
Okay.
which is really good. Greek food, like
I wouldn't have thought. I don't know why I wouldn't have thought. To be honest, I had no idea what to think. But if you asked me, oh, did you think that you were going to get great caipirinhas and pain au chocolat? I'd be like, why? But again, understanding a little bit more about the history, I get the French influence now. I just didn't appreciate it before. What's your favorite kind of food?
I do like Indian food,
Okay.
and I like pasta,
Yes.
but I'm not picky, so I'll pretty much eat anything. So I mostly eat Cambodian food because
Okay.
that's what's cheap and readily
Sure.
available. But on the weekends, that's my foreign food time.
Okay.
So maybe I'll have like a little pizza moment or something. So whatever satisfies a
Do you
craving.
have a favorite restaurant here in Phnom Penh?
I like curry pot for Indian
Okay.
food. That's my favorite. Yeah, I really like it there. I have a couple places that I like for my delivery because they always have like fast delivery or cheap delivery. Pasta Corner is a really big
Okay.
Cambodian brand, and they do like pasta, pizza, wings,
Amazing.
and I feel like the quantity for the price is
It's
always
good.
really good.
Okay. So when you decided to leave rural Cambodia, were you like really keen on coming to the city? Just because you said that in Colorado you lived in the suburbs, so I wondered, was there any sense of like big city intimidation?
Yeah, I wasn't really excited to come,
Okay.
but I was ready to. And especially for the job. Like, I knew I wanted to start working again. And I think I was looking forward to maybe some more, like, modern conveniences, being able to go shopping, having grocery stores.
Sure.
But no, I was not really looking forward to the city setting.
Right.
And I've gotten used to it.
When you say used to, does that mean that you still don't love it?
I still don't love it,
Okay.
but it's not personal.
No.
Honestly, if there were more parks, I would be fine. But it just feels like concrete jungle.
Yeah.
And I am very used to nature. I love being in nature and outside. And so,
Everybody says that Siem Reap is the outside nature vibe. Have you considered moving there?
I've thought about it.
I've never been, by the way, so I'd love
I've
to
only
hear.
been for like one day
Okay.
also. But it seemed cool. Yeah, I've thought about it. I think, well, I've heard that some jobs pay less. And maybe
Okay.
that's just hearsay. But maybe it's also cheaper to live there. I don't really know that much about Siem Reap,
Okay.
honestly. I would consider it maybe, but I also think it tends to have much more of a... I know that there's people that are living there long-term and permanently, but it's also really big.
Transient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
backpacker, tourist.
Right.
And I'm not really sure if I like that vibe. I might prefer to just kind of live where everyone is permanent
Yes.
versus
Just
a lot of
keep moving
hostels
through.
in and out and parties and pub street. And I know that's not all of Siem Reap. That's a generalization,
Sure.
but I'd have to go a few more times maybe if I
And see.
wanted to think about it.
How was it finding a job in the city here?
For me, it has been good, easy, because I am a native English speaker
Okay.
and I have enough experience teaching English. And if we're being honest, I'm white, and that I know has given me opportunities because
Sure.
they're more willing to want to have me work there just
Okay.
upon first glance.
Okay.
But I know that a lot of other expats have had a very difficult time finding a job.
Right.
Even if they're incredibly qualified as teachers, incredibly experienced, if they're not a native speaker, even if they're speaking and their reading and writing is better than mine,
Sure.
and their experience and their abilities are better than mine, they still will have a really hard time finding a job if you're not from one of the special countries.
Okay.
So for me, it's been quite easy.
Okay.
I've not had any problem finding a job as far as a teaching job.
Yes.
Do
Do you like teaching?
I have grown to like teaching.
Okay.
It was not my original goal,
Okay.
but it always has been like, my key into getting in here, because that's really the only thing available if you don't have a degree in something else needed.
Right.
I have come to enjoy it a lot more, though, especially since I started teaching middle school age, because I was...
What age is that?
5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th,
Okay.
in that range.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before you weren't teaching that age?
When I was volunteering, it was like kind of every age,
Okay.
but they were very much like ESL, didn't know much English. We're working on basic sentences. And then now that I've worked in the city, I did a little bit of like nursery, preschool, kindergarten. Love the kids, don't love the job. It's very draining for me.
Just because of high energy, lots. I couldn't do it.
I don't know why. It's like if you give me like 20 preschoolers or
Right.
like 20 7th graders,
You would take the 7th
and
graders.
they're both like insanely wild, jumping off the walls.
Right.
Being with the preschoolers drains me. Being with the 7th graders energizes me. So I
Really?
don't know why, but at least I know that about
I'm
myself
scared
now.
of teenagers.
They're so fun though.
Are
It's so
they?
fun. I love it.
Really?
Yeah. And once they start getting to like 10th, 11th grade, they're back to being boring again.
Okay.
So
So it's
I
just
love this
that
age
key.
range.
The
Yes.
keys.
Yeah. It's really fun. And also now for the past couple of years, I've been teaching to students that are way more fluent in English. So
Okay.
we're getting to do more constructive things. It's
Sure.
not, translating in greetings.
Right.
And that's been very mentally engaging for me. So yeah, I've really come to enjoy where I'm at as far as teaching. And I would be okay doing it for longer, but I also wouldn't close the doors on maybe doing something else in the future.
Do you know what that something else could look like?
I was trying to get my degree in sociology.
Okay.
And I honestly just didn't have the time and mental energy to do it
Sure.
anymore, because if I wanted
Whilst you have your
scholarship, I had to do
job.
it full time.
Okay.
Yeah, full time online. And so it was full time classes, full time work, and I
a lot of
started to
full-time.
lose my mind a little bit
Yeah.
there. So
What was the passion for sociology?
I just love people. I love learning. I really would love to be able to do like research one day.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe it'll be in the distant future, but
Sure.
I think it'd be cool to finish that degree and continue with more education and then do something, yeah, based on research. I'm very, very interested in I don't know that troubled is the right word, but I'm very interested in what are considered dysfunctional groups according to sociology. So from
Right.
an academic perspective.
Perspective.
So crime, gangs,
Yes.
not interested in joining, let me be clear. Mental health, like substance abuse, like just how people get there,
Yes.
why they get there, what about society makes those groups
Maybe I should have done
thrive.
sociology. I did a minor in psychology because for similar reasons. I
Yeah.
just think, I mean, there's no really polite way of saying it. I think we're all crazy depending on where you're standing. And I find the way the mind works super, super interesting.
Yeah, I finished 2 years of my degree.
Okay.
And it was so interesting. And I know for sure that like I absolutely would thrive doing that. I
Sure.
just don't have the time to get back to it yet, especially,
Was it a 4-year program?
yeah, 4 years.
Okay.
So the third and fourth years are more intense. So
Yeah. Is it something
day.
that you can pick up where you left off because you've already done the 2 years?
yeah, ideally. I'm just hoping to get to a point where maybe I would love to be able to do schooling a little bit more part-time, but
That was my next question.
really hard to work out like for paying and
Okay.
scholarships. And I've been advised to consider non-American schools.
Okay.
It's just a big hurdle to like figure out, okay, so now I have the whole world to think of.
I did
Ah,
speak to,
so-
as you said that, I did speak to another teacher out here, and she did her master's whilst in Cambodia teaching, but it was for UK based.
Yeah,
So maybe even-
UK, Australia,
Yeah.
even South Africa has many reputable schools. So
Okay.
I just
We'll
need to
get
broaden
there.
my horizons. Yeah, I'm not rushing it yet.
Yeah.
We
Very
will
cool.
get there.
So teaching, we like it right now. You're not scared of teenagers like I'm scared of teenagers. But we'll cross that teenage bridge. My kids are 4.5, so I have a
Yeah.
little bit of
Yeah.
time.
It'll come before you know it, because it's not just teenager. It really starts around like 11. You're almost there, pretty much.
I blink, it's hell. Because right now they're lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I wondered, in terms of teachers and how they're perceived in society here, are they respected? Is it,
Yeah, I would say amongst Cambodians,
Yes.
yes, teachers
Okay.
are respected. I do think that amongst the expat community, there is
Okay.
some tension because there's a term called like backpack teachers,
okay.
which refers to individuals who have no experience, no knowledge, no background in education, but they come because,
That's the
I can be
way.
a teacher because I know English.
Sure.
And I'm very thankful that I'm academic and that I have
Yeah.
pushed myself to, even though I don't have a degree,
Sure.
I've pushed myself to get certifications and to learn how to teach because
Yes.
it's a skill. It is not just knowing
I
the
would
language.
never
Not
think
at
just
all.
because you can speak English, you can teach English.
A lot of people think that, and that's unfortunately a lot of teachers here. And so
Really?
I think from a Cambodian perspective, it's a respected position.
Sure.
You know, these people are coming from another country to come and teach us and help us succeed. But in the expat community, I know that it can be very frustrating, especially when there are individuals who are not
Taking it
native,
seriously.
but they're experienced and they're
Right.
educated and they can't get a job, but the
Yes.
backpacker teachers can, who
Right.
don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
How is your relationship in terms of, I know that you have a real sincere like pursuit of living like a Cambodian, right? And that is not everybody's motive, right?
Yeah.
I've spoken to so many different people, and you have some people who genuinely want to open up themselves and learn and like soak in Cambodian culture. And I don't mean in a leechy way. I mean in a, you know, let us broaden our minds and have mutual respect, right? And like, I'm all about that vibe. But it would be completely disingenuous not to also acknowledge that there is another type of expat, immigrant, traveler, whatever, who isn't trying to kind of open themselves up. They're kind of looking for their own selfish adventure. And I just wondered, in terms of your day-to-day like social circles, how are you navigating that?
yeah, I think it's been hard not to be black and white about it, because I definitely want to say, like, anyone who doesn't understand the culture and learn the language shouldn't even be here. I want to say that, but I also think that I am trying to have a more nuanced view and understand people's perspective and background. Yeah, I encourage anyone that I come in contact with to try their best to understand the culture and to learn some of the language, if for respect than anything else. Honestly, I'm sure you probably experienced this when you were in Thailand. In the region, Cambodians know so much English compared with
Really?
other countries. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can pretty much go anywhere and whoever you talk to will at least know some English.
Okay.
And a lot of people will have very good conversational English or advanced English, which is not the case for a lot of the surrounding areas.
Right.
And so there's not really a push for foreigners to come here and learn the language.
Right.
Because they genuinely don't need
They
to.
could get by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I spend time with both Cambodians and foreigners. And I think that at the beginning, it's not that I wanted to be Cambodian, but I didn't want anyone to know that I was not from here. Like,
Okay.
I wished that I could just blend in.
Yes.
And not because I really, really wanted to be Cambodian, but because I didn't want to stand out too much.
Right.
And so that definitely inspired me to learn as much as I could about the culture and eat the foods and learn the language. And I think now, especially being in the city, I think I've tried to come to a point of understanding, well, I'm not Cambodian, and I have put in my due diligence
Yes.
to respect the culture and to learn about it and to keep learning about it and to keep learning about individuals and them as a society and a culture. But also, I am American, and that's okay. And it's okay if I have foreign friends, and it's okay if I want to eat foreign food sometimes.
Sure.
So kind of trying to find the balance between that. But I really do wish that more foreigners would be more devoted to trying to be involved with the culture and
Can
with
you
the
talk
language.
to me a little bit about your own personal journey learning the language? Because I think it is super impressive. I mean, I love when people speak more than one language anyway. And it's one thing to like learn another Latin-based language, for example. And it is another thing, babes, to learn Khmer.
Yeah. I learned from kids. Yeah.
Really?
That the first year when I was volunteering was just me asking questions to kids all the time. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? And I have like footage of me just like sitting in front of a kid and they're like quizzing me from my little book of words. Yeah, that's what I did. And I like wrote down the alphabet during my year in the US when I was saving up. I like
Okay.
wrote down the alphabet, wrote down a bunch of words, transliterated and whatnot so that I could sort of read them.
Right.
And then, yeah, I just came and asked questions and
So when you
fell
went
into
back to the
place.
States for that year to save up, you already knew that you were going to start knowing how to speak Khmer.
I was sure.
Yeah.
I was very, very sure I was going to do it. So,
And then you took it a step further to learn to write. Because I've been meeting some people who can speak, and I ask them, "Can you write?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, I completely understand why, because
Yeah.
it just seems like another level.
yeah.
Was that for bragging rights, or was?
Yeah. Yeah, but also now that have been able to brag, now I know that it actually had real constructive use too. And I do tell everyone, learn how to read and write from the beginning. It
Okay.
sets the foundation. It's just memorization. Like,
Even for the writing?
yeah, it's just memorization. Like, it's
Okay.
just,
I'm super impressed.
yeah, I really think that it seems a lot harder than it is. It's just memorization. It's just like we learned how to recognize images and whatnot. So yeah, I think I also thought it was fun.
Okay.
I'm very reading and writing minded, so I
Sure.
knew that it was going to be helpful for me, but
Okay.
it's fun. Like, ooh, writing a little script
But
that's
it's also
different.
super interesting to me because a lot of times when people think about languages and learning another language, one of the first questions they think about is how many people can they use that language with, right?
Yes.
So I only speak French to my kids. A lot
Yeah.
of people ask me why did I choose French and not Spanish or something else. And a lot of people question, is it a case of like proximity to French culture? Like they're trying to figure out if somebody in my family is French, or like,
Yeah.
am I planning on living in France or something? None of those things. I guess my question to you is, because learning a language to be fluent is like discipline, it's devotion, it is commitment, right? And I'm wondering, did you ever think, oh, but who else speaks Khmer?
I've definitely thought about it now that I've gone through all the effort of learning it. I'm like, well, I guess I have to stay here now because where else will
that's
I
how
use
I
this?
feel.
Yeah, it's not useful at all anywhere else in the world.
But is it that you knew in your spirit that you wanted to stay here?
Yeah,
from
I
that
did.
point.
And I think even if I hadn't necessarily wanted to stay here for a long time, I really think I still would have put in the effort to try and
Okay.
learn. I'm very curious and nosy, so I don't do well not understanding what people are saying anyway.
Sure.
And I still think if I ever end up in another country, I absolutely would be dedicated to learn that language. Even if I wasn't going to be there permanently. Like,
Sure.
I don't know. For me, I just think it's really important to know the language. And yeah, I didn't want people talking about me without me knowing. So yeah, I think like I knew that I wanted to learn it no matter how long I was going to be here for. And I think I'm good at languages. I don't know. I know
I've only
bits of
known you
other
for a couple of
languages,
seconds. You're definitely good at languages. There is no way that somebody comes to Cambodia, is speaking Khmer, and is not good at languages. It's just impossible.
And I wish, honestly, I had the motivation to learn more, but I lack self-motivation. So I know bits of other languages,
Okay.
and I think if I was more dedicated,
Sure.
I could definitely know more.
Are
of
there
them, too.
any Khmer expressions that like are specific? I don't mean literal like words, but are there any expressions?
In what sense?
So like when I asked someone this in Thailand, they taught me sabai sabai, which is basically like, it's okay.
Yeah.
What will be. And I just wondered, I mean, Japan, they have like a word which is a million words in English and one word, and it's just like a beautiful Japanese word to express something. I was just wondering, are there any like specific Cambodian expressions?
Yes, I would say the most quintessential Cambodian expression that everyone should know is "Nham bai no."
Nyambai,
No.
no.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God, babes.
Sounded good.
Okay.
Which means, have you eaten rice yet?
So I learned that nyam
Yep.
is to eat, and in Jamaica, I don't know if you know anything about Jamaica,
I do know a little
but
bit.
patois, when we said it's nyam, is eat.
I feel
so
like it
somebody
makes
said
sense,
it,
like,
and I
it-
was like, what?
It feels like an eating sound, like "nyam nyam nyam." It makes logical sense to me that
So
that
if
would
you
be that
said
word.
nyam to my kids, they would understand that you mean eat. So I was
great.
super excited. I was like, that's like the only
Linguistics.
Khmer I can add to hello and thank you, twins and bye.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Which is a really good one, yeah. But that phrase specifically, like,
Yes.
they use it as a greeting,
Okay.
especially like if it's like between friends.
Okay.
So obviously it's not like, "How are you? I'm good." But it's said all the time, way more than we would ask, "Have you eaten yet?" in English.
That's beautiful from the sense of like, my love language is food.
Yes.
Right? And so I love the idea that to greet people, it's centered in food.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually there's one Khmer teacher at the school that I work at, and her lunch break is before mine.
Okay.
And we always cross paths when I'm going to my lunch break. I'll go down to the bathroom. She's in there washing out her dishes.
Sure.
Every day. And every day she'll ask me, "Yeah, I know." And I always say, "No, I'm going right now." Every day. It's the same thing.
That's so
but it's just
sweet.
kind of like a way to break the ice. And
Yeah.
in the way that in English we would be like, "Hey, what's up? How are you
Sure.
doing?" Even if we're not really asking, "How are you doing?"
Yes.
It's kind of just that really colloquial, warm phrase that people use.
I
So-
love that.
And yeah, I like it. I like it has to do with food. I'm always thinking about food, so.
So when you think about, obviously now I appreciate Cambodia is your life, right? Like we've established it's normal. The things that feel wild for other people are just your day to day. I guess my question is, along the journey, were there any times where you questioned your plans, questioned what you were doing, or just had these culture shocks that felt overwhelming?
Definitely a lot in the first 3 years.
Okay.
Which is crazy because that's the time that I really felt like I wanted to be here.
Okay.
But I also had no idea what I was doing.
Sure.
In every sense. Like I didn't have any friends. I really didn't start making friends until like the end of 2023.
Is that
beginning
because of
2024.
you or because of the environment?
Both.
Okay.
Probably mostly me. 'Cause
Sure.
people have always been really, really nice here. Like, yes, Cambodians are very nice and welcoming, and I've just had a hard time connecting.
Right.
So yeah, I felt like I wasn't really well connected. There were a couple times where I was in a living situation where I felt like I was doing my best to contribute and to be involved and didn't really feel like that was being reciprocated
Sure.
by the other people I was working with.
Okay.
So it just kind of felt discouraging sometimes. Like, what am I doing? And then also like finding out, oh, just because I know English doesn't mean I know how to teach it, created that really like physical, I actually don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't know how to teach. So yeah, I would say like definitely the first 3 years fully did not feel like I knew what I was doing. Felt very lost a lot of the time. But also I felt like, what am I going to do if I go back to the US? Like,
Okay.
it's not like I have incredible prospects waiting me. I'll just go and keep working there and probably feel the same.
Same.
So I didn't really feel inspired to change anything or do anything different. I just kind of felt like, well, this must just be how life is. Just feeling lost and disappointed and frustrated by everything. And, it kind of got to a point where I was like, well, maybe I'm just not meant for friends, which is not true. And no one should say that or believe that about themselves. But I kind of just felt like, oh, maybe I just need to get used to it. Like, this is just how it's going to be for me. Because I've also felt that, before in my life, just kind of feeling like don't know what's going on in situations, or I'm not clicking the way that other people are clicking, or I'm not
Sure.
fitting in the way other people are fitting in. So it wasn't a foreign feeling. But I think really starting to work, I hate that I'm such a workaholic, but I am. Starting to work has really given my life just a lot of constructive purpose.
Okay.
Boxes to tick that have made me see I'm making progress, I'm doing things, I'm contributing. And then the book club that I run.
You started a book club.
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, that was the only other really brave thing I've done here. I connected with a girl over Facebook, and we were both like same age, similar backgrounds, looking for friends.
Yep.
And so I was like, oh, this is so embarrassing, but sure, I'll just message her. And so we
How did you find you just knew that she was living here?
I think she posted on Facebook about wanting to like get more connected with community.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, might as well just go all out. And so we got together for coffee and we really hit it off.
Oh, good.
And I've always had like good connections with people one-on-one.
Okay.
And even in general, it's just hard for me to like get to that first connection.
Right.
So yeah, we had a great time, and then we found out we both loved reading, and we talked about we should start a book club. That would be so fun. We got through all the logistics. We made like a post about it and had a bunch of people super interested. So we planned, our first social meetup, met a
Right.
bunch of people. Lots of people came. It was like 40 people came.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just women's book club.
Uh-huh.
And so I was super excited. I was like, we can do this. We planned, the day for our first book club meeting. And then she moved out of Cambodia.
Oh, no. I didn't know that's where the story was going.
I also didn't. She also didn't. It kind of ended up being like a very last minute thing.
Is this post the first meetup?
This was after the first meetup. So
Okay.
at that point I thought, well, like we already have this on the books.
Right.
It's scheduled. People are already reading the read that we committed to.
I have
guess
to
I'll
run
just
with it.
Show up and do it. And so it was very terrifying. Very embarrassing. I felt very self-conscious. But it has turned
you did it
into
anyway.
Yeah, I did it, and I kept doing it, once a month.
Okay.
And now it has like that is where my community comes
Really?
from. I've met some really great people there who've become really good friends, and it's been a really great way to make sure that I'm seeing people and connecting with people.
I love the idea of a book club. Like, I love the idea. During
it's been
COVID,
fun.
I started a remote one with like a lot of members of my team from the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
But I love reading. I think it's a lost, sorry, I think it's a lost, like, pastime. People don't appreciate it as much for obvious reasons. But like my daughter, my first one, her name is Maya, after Maya Angelou. And I know Maya is becoming like a popular name in the West. And I'm just like, yeah, but you don't understand the power, right, behind the name.
It's deeper than that.
You know what I mean? Like, you just think it's a trendy name.
Yeah.
Babes, that's not why my daughter is named that, okay?
Yeah.
She's named after a very specific woman.
Uh-huh.
And I just wondered, who is your favorite author?
I have been recently enjoying R.F. Kuang.
Okay, tell me.
She is a Chinese American author, and she's very, very scholarly.
Okay.
Very, very educated, but she's also a good writer. Interesting. She's most well known for her fantasy trilogy called Poppy Wars.
Okay.
Which I really liked because I've read a lot of fantasy before, and this was like Eastern mythology fantasy. Instead of like Western mythology,
Sure.
dragons and knights and sword fights, this was like Eastern mythology with like martial arts and
Okay.
like dragon spirits.
Right.
So it was super interesting and also really, really well written. And she has other books too.
Sure.
So I've really been liking that. And then I would say I also really like...
Why are you making that
I don't know how to
face?
say it. I'm really afraid I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly. Khalid Hosseini?
I know him.
Okay,
I
Kite
not know
Runner.
him personally.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kite Runner,
Yes.
Thousand Splendid Suns.
Yes.
I just feel
that
like-
is a really good choice.
Yeah, his books are so impactful.
Yes.
There's nothing... Those might be like some of the best books of all time. Nothing compares.
I feel like you can really tell a person by the type of books that they read.
That is tea. It's true.
So,
Yes.
what are you reading now for your book club?
We are actually currently in the middle of our vote for
Oh.
September. Yes, I need to close that vote in about 10 hours.
Right.
So we usually decide on a theme for the
Okay.
month. I have a group of admin now, so we choose a theme and then we open it up to the rest of the group to make suggestions and then
Sure.
we vote on that. So our theme for September is academia.
Okay.
Back to school vibes, but
Yes.
more mature.
Yes.
So we have, I think the two books that are in the runnings at the top right now are If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, which is, if I remember the summary correctly, it's about like someone who went to jail and the cop that put them in jail, they knew each other when they were university students.
Okay.
So then it's kind of like a flashback to like what actually happened at that time.
Okay.
And then the other one is called, I think it's called Blood Over Brighthaven by, could be V.E. Schwab.
We
I
won't
don't think
judge
it
you,
is.
baby.
Something like
It's
that.
fine.
And that one's a little bit more of like a fantasy
Okay.
academia, learning about wizardry or something.
Right.
So we'll see.
We'll
I'm
see.
voting for the first.
I'm voting. I'm not in the club, but I'm voting for the first two.
Yeah.
So,
As you should. Yeah. It sounds better to me. So, but they're apparently both really good.
Okay.
So we'll see.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
And it's very cool again that you pushed yourself beyond your comfort zone.
I'm so glad I did. I am. I actually just last night was hanging out with some of the gals from the book club and we were talking about our first impressions of each other. And they both said that the first time they met me, they were like, yes, you were quite jittery and quite nervous seeming. So I think I've warmed up over time, but it was quite nerve-wracking at the beginning.
Do you think there are any other misconceptions about yourself or your life here in Cambodia?
I mean, other than people just thinking it's way more interesting and exciting, people do tend to think that Cambodia as a whole is very behind and very maybe lacking all modern conveniences.
Okay.
People have been quite surprised to find out that like there's malls and grocery stores and
Right.
movie theaters. And honestly, a lot of that development has been just within the past 5 to 10 years. So
Okay.
the city has developed very, very quickly.
Okay.
But yeah, people are very often surprised to hear, oh, they have that in Cambodia? Oh, you can find that in Cambodia? And yeah, I can pretty much find anything I want here, do anything I want here.
Sure.
So people are surprised by the modernity.
Is there another aspect to Cambodian culture that has won your heart? I know the people are a big part of it, but is there something else?
I think knowing about the history of Cambodia has lent itself to my perception of the people and the culture.
Okay.
And I think just understanding how much they have lost as a people, and like physically lost family members,
Sure.
lost records, lost artwork, lost, I mean, just many, many important things that usually define someone's history.
Yes.
A lot of that has been lost following the genocide in the 1970s. I think I really have done quite a lot of research about that and been to, you know, the different museums
Yeah.
and whatnot, but I've also done extra reading and learning. And I think knowing that, it just says so much about the people, the way that they live, the way that they communicate. Obviously, especially anyone who was alive during that time. I mean, that was
Sure.
recent, all things considered.
Yep.
And so knowing, you know, people, grandmas and aunts and uncles who were alive at that time, it just tells you a lot about how the people are living now and why they do certain things.
Sure.
So obviously that's not like a positive, heartwarming thing, but I do think that like knowing that has made me love the people because I see what they went through, and it,
You have the context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you'd want to touch on?
Weddings are super loud.
I hear they go on for a long time.
Yes.
Like there's multiple
events,
dress
Cambodian
change.
events are super interesting.
Really?
Yeah. Many outfit changes.
Yes.
A real traditional Cambodian wedding is like a week long.
Okay.
They have different things to do every day. The
Or
first
just in the evening?
No. There will be all day different things.
Really?
And it won't be like for guests to attend. A lot of it is based on like Buddhist ceremony.
Okay.
And so a lot of it is like you get up at 4 a.m. because you have to like do your makeup and hair and look perfect, and they have lots of pictures and and then like the very last day of the wedding, that evening
Is when
is
everybody.
like the reception.
Okay.
And even sometimes when it gets to that point, you'll go and the bride and groom won't even be there.
Because they're doing another part.
They're doing another part, or maybe they're just tired. I don't know. But I've been to a couple weddings where
There were no bride and groom?
who's even getting married? It's just a party at that point. So the last day's a party, but events are super fun here, and they're so loud. I
Really?
think probably most Cambodians have hearing loss because I can't even explain how loud.
As in musically
Yes.
loud or talking loud?
music.
Okay.
The music. They will have these giant speakers, and it will be like full volume.
It sounds like Jamaica.
It's fun. It's fun, yeah, but it's super loud. So
Oh, that's so funny.
every once in a while there will be events that they set up like on the street. I don't know if you've
Sure.
seen any. They like set up like the tents
Okay.
on the street if you don't have like house space for it.
Right?
And so then the road will kind of be closed and it'll be super loud for a couple days. But I do feel like that's a big thing. A big part of Cambodian culture is like
That is very cool.
their events and ceremonies.
Very, very
So.
cool. If your life was a postcard, what would the picture look like?
I really think it would probably be like that first view of what I saw
Oh,
in
the golden
Cambodia. Yeah,
hour.
like the gold light and like all the green
Yeah.
rice field like blowing in the wind. And maybe me standing there. I don't know.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, this was really fun. I love talking about Cambodia. It's been, well, maybe I'm a bit of a nerd about it, but I always love talking about Cambodia.
Amazing.